Hey y'all, family, how are you? Happy Monday. Happy Monday to everybody. Hope you're having a great afternoon. And I'm glad y'all made it in here for this big crown chat after the weekend we had. Y'all, didn't we have us a time this weekend? Didn't we have us a time? I enjoyed y'all so much. Hey, Jam. Alondra, how are you? Tina is here. Iridescent Unicorn Farts, the lady with the name. It's Quasia. Hey, Quasia, how are you? Who else is here? Keisha E. Jacqueline 73. Our sister Happy to Be Happy. Delene Tuck, how you doing? Misha, you made it. Gwen, happy to see you. Y'all hit the like button for me. Linda, hey Linda Ford. BJ Dez. We got Chanel D. Queen. Sis, how you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. I can't stress it enough. Very happy when I get to run into you in here. You know, you be busy sometimes. Hey, Wani, how you been feeling? Nacho Twins mama. M. Renee Spiller, thank you so much again. How you doing, sister? Miss Sparkle. We got Deeper Than Skin Deep in here with the Ken folks today. All right. Glenda Teams, S. Collins. Our cousin Jaded Nerd is in the building. Okay. Sassy 1965. Egypt made it in. Thank you. We got one good doorkeeper here. So ain't gonna be no stuff. Evangelist, how are you? Good to see you. Let's see who else is here. Lady C Red. All right, Velma Cook. How you been, Velma? Good to see you. DT? Oh, my DT is here. I always feel better when I see you. Chris Stephanie and Esmane, how you doing? Good to see y'all. I'm so happy that y'all are here. Just trying to take time and greet everybody if I can. We got Esmane, who's here, Sharon Swain. Who else? Listen, I'm just glad y'all made it in. Queen Mermaid, glad to see you. Good to see you. Listen, if I missed anybody, please forgive me. It wasn't intentional. New Year's Bay, Monetta, Rod Storm, DH. All right, Gloria Ingram. Okay, listen. So we got some family in here, and I'm happy to see y'all. Lady Di, Zoe, how y'all doing? So happy to see you guys as always. Please, please. Hey, Rochelle and Jay Rucker. And who else we got here? Brown Skin Beauty. All right. So listen, I'm happy to see y'all. As always, please, please remember to hit that like button. Y'all know I'm out here begging for likes. It means a lot to me. Now I know a lot of folks do not show up for crown chats because it's not the gossip and the TV and the fun stuff all the time. Now I know we have a lot of fun talking about real things, but I know that's not one of the big draws. So when we do these, if y'all can hit the like button for me, it mean a whole lot to me. And that way, we can keep having these little chats and talking about, like I said, grown folks conversation and real things that actually matter to us. Hey, Natasha Razor. So y'all hit that like button for me. If this is your first time or you are a return guest or visitor and you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell and remember to hit like so that you'll be notified every time I go live or I'm giving out information or if we just socializing. We don't want you to miss out on anything. Also, the membership link is in the description box of this video if you want to become a member of the royal family so that you don't miss out on any of the events that we come up with, because we like to have fun over here and we don't want you to miss out on anything that we got going on. We are a very loving and welcoming family, and we are always happy to have more folks come in. We are very welcoming. We don't have any negative, nasty Nancy's over here. We all happy to see everybody. Hey, AVL, Sandra Richardson. Okay, so y'all please and spread the word. Bring somebody with you. You don't have to come by yourself all the time. Bring somebody with you so we can all sit in here and have chats like we do, like family, like ladies. Okay, so. One, I'm going to reiterate again. I enjoyed you all yesterday. The World Talent Fest was absolutely lovely. You all was so much fun. We had a blast. Movie night was fun on Friday. I enjoyed you. And we even had fun, was that Wednesday? I think Wednesday for African movie night. So we're going to always be having little events and things to keep our minds engaged. So it's not just staring at a screen and you watching one other person talk. We're going to do little things like that so we can engage with each other. Remember, it ain't always about a clicking of view. Sometimes we just need to get together and socialize and whatnot, especially with this Carnival 19 going around. Okay. Hey, Nelson. So I'm glad y'all made it in. Thank you again for a wonderful week, a great weekend. And thank you all for supporting your fellow Royal family members who participated in the Royal Talent Fest. Thank you all for supporting them, for voting for them, for cheering for them. It was absolutely awesome. Okay. Maybelline, you made it in. Hey, sister. So now y'all saw the title for the video today. Y'all saw the title, Minding the Business That Pays You. Now, when I say that, it's not in the way that we normally hear, because people normally like to throw that out there when it's a mess going on and we don't want to be in it. It's like, I'm going to just mind the business that pays me. Or you might hear people say things like, I'm just going to drink water and mind my business. And that's all good, but we got to talk about when things are your business and then when it stops being your business. Because sometimes things can be your business at a point and then they can stop being your doggone business. So we're going to talk about that too real quick. DT says, just a reminder, Royals, if you're watching repeats or on live, feel free to use the notes. I'll be writing. Yeah, DT is an excellent scribe. He always sums up what I'm saying, and he does it so eloquently. Because y'all know I can get a point out, but I might not be as eloquent. DT has got the eloquence on lock. So feel free to steal his notes. It's like we in class. You got the one smart kid to write the notes. That's DT. Okay? So there's a certain time when things are your business, so they can be your business at a certain point. And then after a while, they may become no longer your business. Okay? An example of that is sometimes with our children. When they're small and they're in our homes, everything about them is our business. And once they get to be big folks, some of the things in their lives are not our business anymore. So we have to be able to respect those boundaries and even make sure that we can recognize those boundaries because everybody doesn't, recognize those boundaries as well as they should. So we want to make sure that we're doing that we are actually recognizing and respecting those boundaries, right? Now, also, there's times when you may be in a relationship with somebody, friend, romantic or otherwise, and once their relation to you changes, their business may no longer be your business. If you were married to a man and you were concerned about how he was eating and how he was feeling and all that good stuff, once you're no longer in that relationship, what's going on with him and how he's feeling and how people are treating him, it's no longer your business. So we have to be able to transition and we have to be able to change and to morph to what's the word I really want to use? I wish Jaded could loan me a word. He always got so many, right? We have to be able to transition our roles in their lives, and we have to be able to change with the time. If the time has changed and you're no longer in that type of relationship with that person, you're going to have to at some point recognize that your role has changed. It is no longer your role to care about the same things that you cared about when that relationship was different. Okay. Hey, Serene, you made it in. All right. Yep, that's the one. That's the one, Queen Mermaid. I was looking for it and I couldn't find it. I looked up under the laptop and everything, and it wasn't nowhere. So yes, you have to evolve. You have to allow your relationship with that person and your business and the way you perceive that part of their lives as your business to evolve as well. Another time when things can be your business slightly, Dated gave me a good adaptability, but evolve is perfect. Yes, it is. And another time is when someone is your friend. And we like to say, ain't none of your business, but when you accept the person as a friend, that person having concern for you is very normal. So their concern is their business. But even as a friend, when your concern is your business, once your friend lets you know that that's not very well received, in that part of your concern, it becomes no longer your business. So we got to evolve Thank you, Queen Mermaid. We have to evolve to a point where we recognize that the situation has changed. And so we must change our reaction to the situation as well. Hey, brown skin lady 81. Okay. Hey, Auntie Eva. I'm glad you stopped by, but you catch us on the replay now. So here's the thing. What I'm getting into, I said all that rounded out just to say this. We're talking about unwanted advice today. Hey, Black Diamond. How are you? Good to see you. Okay, so Christian Key, you know where I'm coming from. So I went through that whole explanation about you things being your business and no longer becoming your business because we're getting into unwanted advice. Unwanted advice. And sometimes we do need to just mind our business. There are times when we're gonna need to mind our business a little bit. Everything in our business, and sometimes even when it's your business for a time, it does not mean that it's gonna be your business forever. And you got to be able to evolve. Hey, KB, see you sleeping in. So there's sometimes when we have people around us, we care about them, and that's great. It's good to care about people. It's good to love folks. It's good to look out for people. However, there also has to be an understanding for even when you give advice with the best possible, intentions, you mean well with the advice that you're giving. And even though you mean well with the advice that you're giving, understand that that person may not be ready to receive what you're giving. Okay? That's right. Unsolicited advice. We got to talk about it because it happens. And we don't do it out of maliciousness most times. We're doing it because we really love you. And we're doing it because we mean well. And you may want to, save them some heartache. Or you may want them to avoid some pitfalls. Or you may want them not to go through some things that you went through. So you may have all of the best intentions in the world. But when that person is showing you that they are not ready to receive that information, you have to understand that your unsolicited advice, while your concern for them may have been your business, once you see that that person is not ready to receive that information or that advice, you have to transition. You have to evolve and understand that even though the concern was your business, to keep putting that on that person and showing you that they're not ready, that's when we start becoming line crossers. And we don't want to be a habitual line stepper. R.I.P. Charlie Murphy. We can't just be stepping across lines and whatnot. We got to respect people's boundaries, even when we mean well. Okay? Even when we mean well, we got to understand it. Christian Key, what you say? Everyone can't handle the truth, but sometimes they might not. They might not want it. I had to learn that. Exactly. Mm-hmm. And Jam saying, don't force advice upon them. That's right. There goes DT's notes. Now, y'all pay attention. Says number 2, advice when meant well must always be received with an open heart. Otherwise, the advice is unsolicited, may be seen the wrong way. That's true. So you got to be careful. Got to be careful. Yes, it can, brown skin lady 81. And we don't want to do that to people, especially people that we care about, right? That's the last thing we want to do is to make them feel like we're trying to force our thought processes onto them or the way we see things. You know what I mean? Silver Diamond is on point. She got the clipboard and the mirror and the target. So take your notes, do your accountability, and it looks like we hit the bullseye. Okay? Grown, not green. Welcome. So let's talk about some of these things because if we can understand why a person may not be ready to receive it, right? Then maybe we can understand better why we have to give them, room to make their own decisions without being overbearing. Okay? So now one of the reasons, and there's many reasons, but I just want to give a couple of examples because if we can start seeing things from their point of view, it helps us to be more understanding because we have that responsibility, as a friend or somebody who cares about these people to be understanding and not to be judgmental. Okay? One reason it may just be simply that they're not ready to receive it. They just may not be mentally ready. It may be the wrong time for them to receive it. You don't know what they may be thinking or going through mentally at that time because people don't always tell you everything that's in their head. Some people walking around smiling and you thinking they okay. These folks might not be okay. So when you're coming in with all of your good intentions, with all of the love in the world, they may not be ready to receive that information. So you have to bear in mind that may be one very good reason why they're just not taking in what you putting out. And it may not be anything against you. It just may not be the time. They may not be ready to receive it. Okay? So you got to look at that. Another reason may be this person may be fully aware of everything that you're saying to them and making a conscious decision to do what they're doing. Now, this is one me and my sister Toya talk about this frequently because she's one of those people, and I'm sure she won't mind me talking about her. That's the one that pops up from time to time, and I'm always telling y'all, make sure y'all tell my sister hi. Um, Talking about the fact that she is always thinking, if people would just know what's going on, then they'll stop what they're doing or they'll change their behavior. And I'm always saying, sis, it don't matter if they know right from wrong or what the truth is. They may be making a conscious decision to do exactly what they're doing. Marcella, thank you so much for the super chat. I love you right back. Thank you again for last night. You're awesome. So you got to you got to bear that in mind. You can be, we can get to a point where you're giving them information and you're explaining it to them and you breaking it down and you sitting there like, well, I done told you every reason why you shouldn't want this man. Okay. Mm-hmm. And you might be sitting there like, okay, I've explained to you he ain't got no job. I'm showing you that he hitting you upside your head. And you caught him in your car picking up this other girl. You laying it out. You're laying it out. And so you're sitting there and you're thinking, I've given her every reason. And it just doesn't make sense as to why she's still doing this. Okay? The reason that she may be still doing this thing that she's doing is maybe because she's aware of everything you're saying. She know that man ain't got no job. She know he hitting her upside her head better than you do. She know that she caught him driving some other girl around in her car. She the one caught him. So in that situation, this person is aware of everything that you tell them. You're not bringing them any new information. They're aware of all of that, and they're making a conscious decision to still engage in something that you feel is harmful to a person that you care about. And it's not bad that you're against it. I think we should be against people hurting the people we care about. But we got to bear in mind this person may be fully aware of all of the information and they're making a decision and they're saying, consequences be danged. This is what I'm going to do. You know what I mean? Y'all hit the like button for me. They tell you to hit that like button. Here goes some more notes. Lesson 4. Sometimes the advice isn't received well because of timing, and other times it will be consciously done. Know the difference. That's true. That's a good one. Jam says not open to receiving that message, so they'll think you're judging. That's true too. And Shirley says last night was beautiful. So were you. Thank you for the entertainment. Well, thank you for that. Okay. So these are the kind of things you have to look at. And here's another one. This is another good one now. They may not have enough wisdom or experience to process the information you're giving them. Sometimes the information or the advice that we're giving is from a place of experience. You know what I'm saying, y'all? It's the stuff that we've already been through. So we can tell them how it's gonna go because we done been there. We've seen how it works. We know the ins and outs, the ups, the downs. And sometimes the person that you're talking to, even if they're not younger than you, if they haven't lived certain experiences, if they haven't had certain experiences, they don't even really understand in a real way what type the information that you're giving them. They can't even process it. They can't process it. They don't have the experience to even understand all of the information you're giving them. In situations like that, don't be short patient. Don't be frustrated with them. Just understand that it's okay if they don't take the advice. And there's other reasons too. Sometimes it's a matter of what you telling them is going to be a downfall of what's going to happen. They may have seen it play out another way. So in their mind, as long as they believe there's an option for it to come out good, they're going to stay right on that course, and it don't matter what you say. Jazzy says, you saying everything I feel, Auntie, because I strongly believe that people are grown and do what they mean and mean what they say. It's true. Yeah, okay. We just got to tell it like it is, so that way we don't make mistakes, end up alienating folks, abusing them, because trying to control people, in my opinion, is a form of abuse. And we don't want to do that to people we care about. And I hope you all are aware these kind of things can happen inadvertently. You could mean well and your behavior can still do harm or be abusive. KB says, before I give advice, I always ask the person, so are you tired? Or are you done? That's a major difference. Okay, that's true. Grown Not Green says, I swear you're talking to my heart. Okay, sometimes listen, I've been guilty because I'm a nurturer. I'm a protector, I'm an advocate. Like if I see somebody in trouble, my first instinct is to jump in, especially if it's one of my sisters. I'm gonna just tell the truth. If I see one of my sisters in trouble, it's my first instinct, even if I don't know that sister well. I want to step in and be like, hey, girl, don't do that. I don't want you to get hurt. I'll help you. Let me watch the churn. Go over here, apply for this. And sometimes we want to do that, but you got to be in tune and pay attention to that other person, their responses, body language, and sometimes flat out what they say. They may not be ready. So we got to, make sure that even with all of our best intentions, that we're not causing more harm than good. We got to be careful of that. Black Diamond says Shanitra is about love. So hit all those buttons. Yeah, y'all hit them buttons for me. I like them buttons. Hit them buttons. So you got to bear that in mind. Hey, if somebody is out there committing crimes and they've never been caught, and you're telling them if you keep going, you're going to get caught, they don't really believe you on a real level because they've seen a different variation. They've seen a different outcome. They told themselves, well, those other people got caught. I won't because I did it this way. I'm the smart one. I won't get caught. And then when it happens, then it's like, I remember there was an old woman and she's told me, like that. So sometimes give the advice and allow it to sit. They may not hear it at that time, but it'll come back later. You listen, this is the other thing I want to put out there. We have all been on both ends. We've all worn both hats. We have been the person giving the advice, and at some point in your life, if you tell the truth, you have been the person ignoring the advice. Jam says, I have learned to leave folks with their stuff. I just let them know I'm there when they're ready. Exactly. Exactly. So this is what, it's just one of those things. We have been there. Let me see some bullseyes in the chat if you have ever been the person that did not receive the advice and lived to regret it, whether it was from a friend, mama, daddy, big mama. Hey, Queen, I'm so glad you made it in, sis. Let me see some bullseyes in the chat because I want to make sure I'm talking to somebody and not to me. See, now I see bullseyes. Okay. Anybody else? If you ever been the person that was giving the advice and you just thought you was too smart, you knew everything and you wasn't gonna hear it, and then you lived to regret everything you did. Hey, short stack. Okay, so I'm seeing some bullseyes. I'm seeing some bullseyes. Do I see any more? Did I hit the nail on the head for anybody? See, we've all worn both hats. So what we gotta recognize is when you were in that position, were you ready to listen? No, you weren't. You weren't ready. Y'all know our whole 20s, pretty much that entire decade, we didn't listen to nothing because we thought we knew everything. And it didn't matter what mama said, what big mama said. It didn't matter what your uncle and your aunt and them, the old head at the corner. It didn't matter what anybody said. You had your mind made up that this is what you were going to do. And then fast forward 5, 10, 15, sometimes 20 years later, you end up wishing that you listened, and then you can actually internalize the warning or the advice or the message, and then you can use it. But the truth of the matter is, hey, we've all worn both hats. Every one of us have been the person who didn't listen and was hard-headed, and then we've been in a position where we gave out advice and then it wasn't heard, and then we got frustrated. Hey, Mace, we got frustrated. Girl, I was a whole fool. Marsha say, thought I knew it all. I was a teen mom, been working hard ever since. Exactly. And you think about all the things that didn't have to go that way if you'd have just listened. Mm-hmm. Oh wow. Well, that's a lot there. That's a lot, Linda. Yep. Okay. Grown, not green. You say sometimes not even that long. You better say it. Emma say, I thought everybody was wrong but me. I'm telling you. And deeper than skin deep say that's how you really learn though. That's true. Some people choose to listen, some people don't. And some people after they don't listen and then they tear their behind up, then the next time they listen a little bit better. It's something about tearing your behind loose that will make you listen better. I don't know if there's a nerve that's wide from your behind to your brain, but once you bust your tail and tear your draws, embarrass yourself, put yourself in bad situations, then all of a sudden your brain can receive it and your ears can hear it. Okay? Yeah, it's like that too sometimes. It's like that too. You got some that listen quickly. They learn quickly. Anna L. say, I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. I love you for being so kind to me. Well, I love you right back. So this is what I'm saying. You know, the reality is we've worn both hats. So just like you were not a horrible person, you weren't a monster. People might have saw you as a monster depending on how terrible you was acting. But you weren't a monster. You weren't a lost cause because look at you now. So when you're talking to somebody who refuses to listen, refuses to understand, hey, Dorit, refuses to take the advice, understand, just like you weren't useless, you weren't a lost cause, you weren't trash, you weren't garbage, you weren't, no good to nobody, you should consider that that's not their story either. They're not useless. They're not no good. They're not trash. It's just a matter of they're having the experience that you had at a different point in the timeline. That's it. Grown Not Green says some you might have to go through it twice, but if you catch it, but wait, but if you can catch it, I guess the first time. Yep. If you can catch it the first time, it won't happen to you no more. Okay. Tina said having a hard head and a soft butt does come back to bite you. Yes, it does every time. Crystal Williams says, if only I didn't insist on having it my way. Girl, I think we've all sang that song. KB said, I would repeat the mistakes of my siblings, but I made sure to make new mistakes. You wouldn't repeat theirs, but you made new ones. Okay, same here. Pop said, hard head makes a soft. Yep, it's true. It's very true. So let's talk about the healthy ways, some healthy ways, because I'm sure there's others, and y'all always give me nuggets in the chat that I can take away with me too. Let's see. DT's notes, lesson 6. We've worn both hats of not listening and giving advice at the same time. Be empathetic to people. Yeah, you gotta be empathetic, and and if you want to be fair. I won't say you got to, because my daddy said you ain't had to do nothing but live, be black, and die. So I can't tell you got to do it, but I would say in order to be fair, you would kind of have to, because if nobody threw you away, nobody just dropped you in the dumpster, or even if somebody tried to throw you away, it didn't feel good. So don't do that to anybody else. Try to have patience with folks. Work with them. Don't be so quick to write people off. Give them a chance. Everybody can come back from something. I mean, seriously, unless you catch them eating people, eating humans and babies and stuff, and, doing some real wild Jeffrey Dahmer type crap, why can't they come back from it? Because if you check yourself, I guarantee you it's some stuff that you did that you want to come back from. You know what I mean? So just try to be patient with people. Let's look at some healthy ways. Hey DC, I'm so happy you made it. Yeah, the royal note taker is on point. Alyssa Better, she says kindness. Okay? That's all. Just be kind. It don't cost you nothing. It don't cost you nothing. And I'll tell you one more thing on the house. Um, at the end of the day, that one person that you kind to, that you push through and you showed them kindness, you never know who's gonna have to help you one day. So be careful how you handle folks. That person you look your nose down at and you like, oh, they act like this, and I'm sick of her because she dressed like that. Be careful. Be careful. That same person may be in a position to help you one day. Okay, what goes up must come down. Orlando Beauty says, I was born hard headed, but I learned that listening and digesting warnings are free, are lessons to endure the older and wiser taught me lessons and rest their hearts. Yeah, exactly. It's good to take the advice. Like I said, after you hurt yourself a little bit, and you hurt your own feelings, and you allow other people to hurt your feelings, and you make your life difficult and this and that, and you listen a little bit better. Okay, just like it happened to you, it'll happen for them. Some of them will learn quicker. Jazzy says everybody can start over. That is true. That is absolutely nothing but the truth. So some of the healthy ways that we can choose to respond when we have somebody that we truly care about, because if you didn't care about them, you wouldn't be giving them advice. So one way that you can kind of do that and be healthy is still be a positive influence to them. Still be there, still show them the same kindness. Don't treat them no different. Love my dogs too. How you doing? I'm glad you stopped through. Don't change the way you relate to them. This is in certain situations, so this is not for every situation. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. So still relate to them the same way. Don't start shunning them. Don't become so disappointed and upset that they're not listening to you, that you start to push them away or make them feel like you're angry with them. And definitely don't become resentful of the fact that they don't want to listen to the advice that you're giving. Okay. That's right. Thank you, Zoe. So make sure that you know, proceed the same way. You see that advice wasn't received, recognize that it's no longer your business to venture into that topic, whatever it is, and still be there and be positive and still show them love and be there also to help them navigate, when the consequences of those actions, play out. A lot of times that definitely applies to children. Once your children become adults, y'all know I call myself Yoda for my kids. Now I'm now here in an advisory capacity only. But if I tell my child what they ought to do as a mother and I'm advising, I'm playing Yoda, I got my robes on, right? And if the child doesn't take mama's advice and they decide to take a different route, and I'm not, saying some parents do this. I'm not going to say that some parents don't. I would say I would probably think they shouldn't, but some parents will say, well, if you don't want to listen to me, then don't come home, and I don't want to talk to you in X, Y, and Z. But the truth of the matter is, I think it's more helpful and healthy for you and your baby to just say, okay, mama's still here, and when your child busts their behind, like they will because you've been there, then you should still be there to help them navigate how to rebound from it, how to come back from it. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's one way to get that done. Another way to keep it healthy in other circumstances is where the situation may be a little bit more. If it's a matter of, a friend and it's abusive relationship, or, they're engaging in certain activities that can cause an adverse effect on your life. If they're dealing and messing with drugs and, you know, living in certain type of criminal activities, or in certain areas that can be harmful to you, then sometimes you may have to distance yourself from the person. Now, I'm not saying cut them off, because every situation is not a cut them off situation. Sometimes you just have to change the way you relate to them, because what they're doing can spill over into your lives. Because y'all know people can have certain lifestyles that, even by being associated with them, it can spill over onto you. And if you know it's something you can't handle, then you might want to distance yourself. And that doesn't mean you got to cut them off or treat them mean or be unkind or judgmental. You just may have to distance yourself. Don't attack them. Don't try to shame them because they didn't take your advice. Let them know you're still there for them. Make it plain. Ain't no judgment. I'm not persecuting you, but I got to fall back a little bit because some of the decisions you're making, it look a little reckless to me. I don't want it to spill over onto me. That's your choice. I respect it. I love you, but I can't take I can't take those kind of chances with my life, you know, whatever it is. Because it may not even be something that's physically harmful or dangerous. It just may be something that's hazardous to your peace. Okay, let me explain that better, right? Have y'all ever had a friend that had another friend and they would come to you complaining about the other friend and they're constantly saying that every time we go somewhere, she don't ever, 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 she don't put in nothing. She always telling my business and she's always doing this and she's always doing that. And so you sit here as a friend and you're like, hey, friend, it sounds like this girl ain't your friend at all. Maybe you need to get away from this person. Maybe you need to quit going out with her. If every time y'all go out, you got to pay for everything, right? And your friend doesn't listen. And so she keeps going with this on the same path, but she expects you to listen to all of the toxicity that she's taken in voluntarily. Now, see, that's a situation or one example of a situation where your peace is in jeopardy. Because make no mistake about it, if I give you advice on how to help yourself and you're allowing somebody to keep bringing you toxicity, and I've told you how to help yourself and get away from the toxicity, I'm not going to let you keep bringing that to me. You're not finna keep calling my phone with the same stuff. That's what you're not going to do. And it's not because I don't love you, but now I'm going to have to distance myself from the situation. Just a little bit, not from you, not like I hate you or anything, but distance can sometimes mean, hey, friend, I love you and you can call, but we can't talk about that. Sometimes distance may be, well, I love you, friend, but we can't go to that place together no more. Sometimes you just have to, like Queen Mermaid say, evolve. You got to evolve. So you distance yourself sometimes from the person themselves and sometimes just from the situation, right? Now, another way to deal with it in a healthy way is that some situations do actually require you to remove yourself altogether. Every now and then, and sometimes more often than we would like, it's a situation where you just got to leave that person alone. The situation is so toxic and ugly and bad that you just can't keep being bothered with it. You know, Sometimes you just got to move yourself completely out of the situation. You advising them, you letting them know, hey, what you're doing is spilling over onto me. I got to back away from this. You're telling them, hey, you can't bring that to me. They're at this point now they're disregarding your distance, and they're not respecting your room to make your decisions on what you will and won't deal with. Some situations are just plain bad, y'all. And sometimes in giving the advice and talking with this friend or a loved one, you may find out, unfortunately, some people just bad folks. And the advice ain't sinking in because they want to be bad folks and they're comfortable with being bad folks. So in certain situations, you just got to walk all the way away. And that's okay too. There's nothing wrong with walking all the way away. Just, cut ties. You don't want to do it, but sometimes it's necessary. Sometimes it's one of those things that is just necessary. The reason I felt like, let's look at some healthy ways to do it. Sheila says, how do you do it when it's your child? You mean like cutting them off? Is that what you mean? Or do you mean like distancing yourself from certain situations they're in? How do you mean that one, sis? Let me read DT's notes. It said, I remember when I would use my pay to help my parents. And so I would always decline events with friends because I had not much money. One friend understood, but the other complained about it. Yeah. Kendra, you finally made it. All right. Yeah, the topic is unsolicited or unwanted advice. Okay. So yeah, sometimes you got to walk away. I would hope we don't have to walk away from children. Unfortunately, sometimes that happens. Shaquila says distancing yourself from a toxic situation with your children. Yeah, it can be done. It can be done. Sometimes it's just a matter of, hey, if you're on drugs, you can't come to mama's house like that. I love you and I'm here for you, but you can't come here like that. That's not to say you got to have gone to rehab, got clean, met Jesus, and you shout every Sunday, but don't come here high. You can do that. If that child is in a situation where they're doing other things, it's like you can't do that around mama. I love you, but you can't do it here. You have to create distance. So sometimes it's work, but you can do the work and create the distance and do it in a way that your child still feels like mama loves me, mama has my back, mama just don't want me bringing this around her because she wants better for me. Always remember that sometimes, hey Monetta, hey Serafina, sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And it's not to say that you don't love the person you're talking to. It's the issue of don't allow your frustration with the situation to bleed over into how you're giving the message. You dig? You say it's toxic relationship with a boyfriend. So that's when you let her know, I'm praying for you. I love you. I want better for you than what you're in, but I respect your right to to proceed the way you need to. Now I'm gonna be here. Now that's not to say as a mother, if you see your child in imminent danger, that you're not gonna do something. Because I hope you would. I can promise you, if it's mine and I see imminent danger, ain't no Yoda. Mama going to pick up the strap, and it is what it is, and y'all can talk about me later. Okay? So this is the thing. When it comes down to it, the issue becomes protect your peace, but also respect this person's agency over their bodies, over their lives, and over their choices. You have to be able to make your decisions about how to proceed with them when they don't listen. And you also have to be willing to allow them to make their decisions. They have every right to move in a way that works for them. They have every right, and we have to respect their rights. Thank you, DC. The reality is when we don't, then we become controlling. And we don't like it when people try to control us. It's not fair. So you have to give people the same respect. You have to give them the same respect that you expect. You simply have to. Deeper Than Skin Deep says, I'm huge on boundaries. I am too. Show love. But when somebody is telling you by either action or by word that the information or the advice that you're giving is not well received, respect their rights and say, you know what? I wish you wouldn't do it, but I understand that that's your decision and I'm still here for you. Or I wish you wouldn't. I respect your decision and understand it. But as long as you're doing that, I gotta pull out, I gotta pull away. Either way, make your decision. But don't do it in a way where it's manipulative or you're shaming them or you're being judgmental, because I always remember that same hat was on your head at one point. DT's lesson number 9. The note says, sometimes it's not what you say, but how you say it. Let them know you respect their agency and protect your peace concurrently. I love the notes. Yep. Do you need a mirror? Grown Not Green says, Father got upset because she's upset that he's not minding his business. Yeah, I mean, you have to recognize that the person that you're butting into at a certain point, I think at a certain point it goes from advice to butting in. They have a right to be upset. And it's understandable that they would. It's understandable that they would be upset. Always slide that shoe around to your foot, right? Slide that shoe around to your own foot. And once you slide that shoe around to your own foot, then ask yourself how you would feel. How would you feel if your agency was not protected? How would you feel if your right to choose for your own life was not respected? These are the questions that you have to ask. It is very, very, very important. And I want us to make sure that we proceed that way. But what I did want to ask in the chat, okay, what are some other ways that we can deal with people who don't listen when we're just trying to be helpful? Hey, Marilyn McGowan, thank you again for that poem last night. Let me see in the chat. What are some other constructive ways that we can use? What are some other things that you've done when you found yourself in a situation where you're giving the advice in the best spirit possible and they're just not listening? What do you do at that point? How do you help them? How do you move from trying to get them to stop their behavior to just saying, I accept you for who you are, and I'm either still here or I just gotta back away. Like what are your tools? Because I don't have a whole lot of tools, but I do have some. Let's see. Jazzy Cuteness says, hold on. I thought I hit it. Okay, there it goes. My whole entire family cut me out of their lives after my mom died, and I let them because they were overstepping boundaries and getting into my business and trying to tell me how to live my life. Yeah, that's a no. That is a no. Ooh, Tina, that's a good one. You write them a letter, like explaining how you feel and your reasons for why you moving like you moving with them. Okay. Yep. Yep, let go and let God. Okay, grown, not green. Hold on, I want to get yours. Help them by stop talking to them. They figured it. Wait, they have figured. They have it figured. If not, somewhat. Okay, got it. Felicia says, pray and turn it over to God. I stop sharing advice and just accept them as they are. Okay, Keisha, what you say? Accept them where they are. That's very important. Sometimes you have to just learn to accept people where they are at their area of growth. Everybody don't grow at the same rate. Ray Ray all day says, keep an even temperament and keep calm without elevating your voice. You have to bring them up to standard and keep from acting a fool. Mm-hmm. Kendra says, I usually step back. I know I walked away from my best friend of 10 years after she cussed me out for being concerned for her well-being after she sent me some harmful images. I was done. Yep, sometimes you have to. Sheila says, let them be. They have to learn on their own time. On their own time heals all. Okay. Sassy says, back away and pray. Lady C says, listen quietly and pray. Okay. Linda says, I can't because I white, but they offend. I don't understand, darling. See, Chris Stephanie says, sometimes you have to leave a person where they are and keep on praying for them. It's true. It's true. Gwen, what you say? I asked them what advice would they give me if I were in their situation. They usually end up using their own advice. Man, I like that. I like that one. I may use that going forward. I like that. Ask them what advice would they give you if you were in that situation. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, so listen, I knew y'all always have better ideas than me. I come up with ideas, but I don't always come up with the best ones. Like I try, but I'm not always on point like y'all are on point. I like that one. Marva says, let my prayers be my words when all else fails. Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. I said no to a free trip over the weekend because clearly someone still doesn't get it. Okay. Yep. It's like that. Lala says, I take a 6-month separation period. That is not bad. That's not bad at all. I like that. As a matter of fact, that may be something that's completely healthy. Like, okay, so Lala, when you do the 6-month separation, do you make them aware that that's why you're separating yourself and kind of being quiet for a while, or do you just back away and like ghost them and let the chips fall where they may? How are you doing this 6-month separation period? How are you doing that? Because I like the sounds of that, but I'm thinking like if I were to do something like that, I would probably explain myself. Like if they call during that period, like I'm just taking a little time, I'm taking a break because I was trying to help and I feel like maybe I was doing more harm than good. Because y'all know something, a lot of times we can do more harm than good. It can turn into a situation where they will be so busy pushing back against your advice that they may hang on to a bad decision even longer than they would without you doing that. So you got to be careful. You don't want to end up causing more harm than good by you being so dogmatic or digging your feet in. Okay? Dana says you block until you're ready to resume communication. Okay. Elizabetta, let me put yours up, says if you talk to them, you have to lead by example. because you can't preach water and drink wine. Better yourself first before you speak. That's good advice. But I'm saying when they don't listen, you know, advice is on how for your sisters to kind of know how to go forward and what's going to happen. Shirley says the famous words you don't want to hear, but you don't want to hear is told you so that you will get it, so that we'll get you every time. What? Okay. The famous words you don't want to hear, but you don't want to hear is "I told you so." Okay. Got it. Got it. Yeah, no, don't nobody like "I told you so." And I'm not really a "I told you so" kind of person, unless it's about a recipe or something. Because it's not nice to rub their nose in it. They already feeling bad, you know? You let them know about the issue. Okay, got it. Olanda says, if someone was distance, I would send love from a distance, respect how they feel, keeping an update to make sure they're fine at least. Yes, I do that. I will check in. Like even if I know I need to back, I will still check in. Like, you good over there? How you holding up? That type of stuff. Sophia Bryan says, what's going on? Girl, I don't know. I'm here. I'm here. I really don't know, Sophia. Deeper Than Skin Deep says, oh, I definitely told her. She's kissing behind and she knows she lost a great friend. Yeah. So sometimes you just have to do that. And like for me, I don't really throw people away like, okay, I'm no longer your friend. That's not what I do. I don't do the "you no longer my friend." It takes a lot for me to do that. I won't say I would never do that, but I can tell you it takes a lot for me to do that. By the time I'm telling you I'm no longer your friend, then you know you have been a habitual line stepper, and that's just about enough. I'm gonna tell you an example. I had a friend, and when I tell you the stuff that I let go, y'all probably gonna be like, Nitra is crazy, or she was on horse tranquilizers. Okay. Now, here's the thing. I was her friend because I met her through her sister. And I had been a friend to her. And she was one of those people that she didn't socialize a lot. She wasn't that outgoing. I was more outgoing and playful and loud. She was real cool. We would shop together, everything. And so time came where she would do little things that weren't nice. And I would try to advise her when it came to her family or her sisters, and she would say things, and I would be like, hey, you ain't got to say that about her. Maybe she's just this or maybe she's just that. But it was just I could see the bitterness and the resentment, and I didn't think it was nice, and I didn't want to be a part of it. And I kept telling her, well, you shouldn't talk about your sister like that, because they were blood sisters, grew up in the same house. And then it was, I seen her doing some other stuff that looked problematic. And so I worried, and I was like, you know what? I don't think you should probably want to do that. Let's not do that. And she kept going that way. And so eventually I quit talking about those things, but I stopped her from bringing them to me. It was like, okay, I can't stop you from talking bad about your sisters and saying slick stuff about your mama and you being rude to your husband, but you can't do it here. You know what I mean? And then things went on and you kept going, and she did some ugly things to me too. And then eventually she ended up doing the most, lying on me and causing a bunch of stuff, and then lying to me and pretending to commit suicide. Like, it was a big mess. So in a situation like that, and that was over a period of years, I got patience with my sisters because, I love y'all. And I mean that in every sense of the word. But when she really did the absolute most, and it was over a period of years, at that point, then I'm going to say, now I'm cutting you off. But just a simple matter of somebody not taking advice, unless it's something that's truly harmful, I'm not going to just cut you off. I may distance myself. I may not hang around you physically anymore, but I will check in from time to time if you take my calls. Because sometimes when you back off, people will take it a certain way. You know what I mean? Kendra say, I'm not judging you, Shanitra. Child, I had a best friend who out myself and everyone around her through it. Yeah, it's like that. And I try to give room for people to come back from anything. I don't care what it is, unless it's just the absolute most. Miss Cherry the gardener said, I had a friend like that. I figured if you do your family bad, what will you do to me? Cut her off. Yep, and I let her keep riding and whatever, and just kept trying to be Jiminy Cricket in her ear, like, "Hey, don't do that, man. That ain't cool. Um, just be easy. Like you ain't got to do like that. You can handle things a different way. You ain't got to act like this. This and that." And so when it comes down to it, it's a matter of I back away. If they come to their senses later and they say, "Hey, you know what? I should have listened to you. X, Y, and Z happened," or "I didn't listen and this and that happened, but I learned something from it. I took it as a growing experience or whatever." Um, when they come back, I'm just fine. As long as whatever's happening that I distance myself from is no longer part of the equation, I no longer have a reason to distance myself from the person, if that makes sense. I feel like we need to, or it's healthy to, separate the person from the situation unless we find out that the problem is not the situation and it actually is the person. Okay? So when it's a situation like that and you see that it really is the person and it ain't the situation, then by all means, get to cutting. You know what I'm saying? That's when it's time to grab those royal family emojis, grab those red bottoms, and walk off. When it's the person and not the situation, by all means, ladies, grab your red bottoms. But if you can sit down logically without being over emotional, and you can see that the problem is indeed the situation and it's not the person, your loved one, your friend, relationship, whatever, then once you take your distance and you see that whatever it was that made you back away from the situation is no longer a part of it, give them time and give them room and the grace to rebound and come back from it. Lady Di says, my husband and I my husband and I know that we have equipped our adult sons with everything they need to succeed. So when they don't want to listen, we just pray because we know they hear our voices in their heads. That is so important. That is so important. Okay, Jazzy says, I got a best friend that I always got to get together, but I never will just cut her off because I love her. She's never done anything that bad. But I said, I'm done with you, and she always gets back. Yeah, we bounce back. We bounce back. So, just like we change, we grow, the world and people around us give us room to come back from our mistakes and sometimes who we were at a certain point. Give other people that same grace, have the same understanding. Call a spade a spade. Y'all know I don't bite my tongue for nothing. But after you finish calling a spade, every iron fist got to have a velvet glove. Sheila says, do not ignore the warning. I lost my best friend because they were above their own situation. I was warned by their own family. Warnings are there for a reason. That is true. Kendra says, oh, you telling Zoe you cried. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, that stuff like that. Hey, when you can't come back from it, it is. DT says in lesson number 10 in the notes, value discernment. Know the difference between the situation and the person, but always be gracious and give people time to improve. It's true. Always keep that in mind. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it for today. I did enjoy this crown chat, but I want y'all all to, be introspective and be fair to others as well as yourselves. The truth of the matter is, the truth of the matter is, who you are now is not who you were 10 years ago, 5 years ago, last year. So just like you can evolve, just like you can turn and become something else, just like you can take your mistakes and make them into miracles and all them cliches y'all hear at the church house, you know what I mean? They can too. They can too. So just make sure that you give people the same grace that you received and you would like to receive, and make sure that you're respecting their agency. Charles says, as I get older, I believe what people say. They wouldn't, they wouldn't do is exactly what they're going to do, or what they vehemently don't like about someone is how they listen closely to what people say and observe. Okay, got it. It is not our responsibility to make people happy. Take people for who they are. Right, I guess. But yeah, let's talk about our takeaways from today. Our takeaway is the first part was one, recognizing when something is your business and when it's not your business. And recognizing when, even if it is your business, it no longer is your business. So it can go from being your business and it can evolve into not your business no more, simply because your relationship to the person or the situation may have changed. The next takeaway is the people that we're giving the advice to, okay, they may not be ready to receive it. They may already be fully aware of everything you're saying and making a conscious decision. And they may not have enough wisdom or experience to process the information that you're giving them. Or they may have seen a different outcome and they simply cannot understand or conceive that the outcome that you're advising them about is even a possibility for them. So bear that in mind. And the fact that we have all been on both ends of it. We've all given advice that may not have been taken, and we've all been the person on the receiving end who did not necessarily listen to the advice that was given. Also, make sure that we remember to respect that person's right to make a decision, even a bad decision. It's their right to make it. It's their right to make that decision, and don't infringe on that because you wouldn't want anybody to do it to you. Remember, when it's possible, still be positive, still being a good influence, be in their lives, be supportive, help them navigate through those consequences when they come, because you know they're going to come. You've been there, right? So try to be there. And then if you can't, distance yourself from the situation. Don't attack them or shame them. Let them know that you're there. No judgment, no persecution. I love you, but I got to back because what you're doing ain't working for me. Okay? And then the rare situation where you just can't work with it, the situation is toxic, and or you realize that it's not a situation, it's actually the person. Sometimes it's not the situation. Sometimes people cannot be good people. I do believe in my heart, very seldom is it just that a person is just not a good person. I really believe that sometimes it's the situation, or it may be just a part of their growth that they're at that's just not great right now. But sometimes it really is the person. And when it's that way, like the situation Kendra was talking about, then you may have to cut that person completely out of your life. And that's okay. It's unpleasant when you have to, but that's okay too. Let's get DT's notes, and then we're going to ski daddle our butts up out of here. Not before I show y'all what Leslie Prim bought me off my Amazon wish list, because I thought it was so cool, and I got to tell y'all, I like, at least got to show y'all. DT, his notes on the takeaway. Everyone has the right to evolve, discern when it is minding your business and when it is not. Give advice, but respect their agency, and have and give them room to improve. I think is what that was supposed to be. All right. So that's it, y'all. Unless y'all got something else to add to our chat for today, I just thought it was, I thought it was fitting because most of us in here, we do have some of our brothers, but most of us up in here are sisters, right? So we all have that nurturing instinct. We have the instinct to step in and to be problem solvers and fixers and to take on projects and to want to keep people from hurting themselves. All those things are good things. They're all great things. There are great ways to relate to people. It's beautiful, and I don't want us to ever change the way we relate to each other and like that. But even with all those good intentions, with all that good energy, all that positively charged energy, recognize when even your good intentions can go bad. Recognize that it can go bad. And I know we all have been there where you really just want to, it's almost like when you're watching a scary movie and you catch yourself talking to the screen, or is if that's just me, let me know, right? But you know how you sitting there like, don't go in that room, and you screaming at the screen, and the acts on the screen steady going in the room because they, number one, they can't hear you. And it's crazy that we be talking to the TV, right? But the other reason is they're going to go in that room because that's the path that they're already on. Okay? So that's that on that. We're gonna leave that alone. Y'all know I got to go because I try to keep these crown chats at an hour. But I wanted y'all to see what Leslie Prim got me. She is the sweetest ever. I'm gonna switch so I can get a better camera because I want y'all to see these. It made me so happy. It's one of my favorite things because y'all was like, that's what my list is all about. Is my favorite stuff. So even if you don't want to get nothing off of there, you can always peruse the list and you might get some ideas for yourself about some things that can help you relax. It might be very zen, not zen when, but just zen, right? Roz, oh, thank you. I love you back. Same to you, Lala. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna switch up real quick. Hold on. Okay, got it. So listen, this is what I got from Leslie Prim. Okay, do y'all see these? These are amazing. They are absolutely amazing. You can see the etching on them. These are called zills. All right, and I was so excited to receive these. One second. I was so excited to receive these because I love them. They're called zills. You use them with belly dancing and different things like that. And it's just really relaxing to me. Like, even if I'm not dancing because my knee is all jacked up, I still sometimes I like to just click zills. They make me very happy. So feel free to peruse. You might get some ideas on some wonderful things for you or somebody else. You just never know. But to Leslie Prim, I was hoping I would see her in here today so I could tell her thank you, like live and in person, because I saw it and I was shocked and surprised. And that was just awesome. JC sent me some stuff too, but that was privately. And I appreciate that too. She's such a sweetie pie. Y'all, we got us a real jewel in JC. We have a real jewel. So I appreciate you guys. I love y'all so much. And Kendra say you can use them at church or debates. You know what? If I bring them into church, that would be funny because I guess at that point I could keep up with the tambourine player. And I don't know about debates, but that's not a bad idea. If somebody start yelling or screaming, just start clicking the zills. I would absolutely die laughing if somebody did that. That would be so funny. Oh my gosh. But I hope you guys have a great Monday. I gotta go jump in the truck and run some errands. Y'all know I don't sit still. I literally ran in here and sat still long enough so that we can have our crown chat, and then I gotta get right back out there. Okay? All right. Thank y'all so much. I love you all. Have a great Monday, and we will see you again tomorrow. Oh, before you go, hit the like button on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Membership link is in the description box below the video. And tomorrow we have a treat, okay? One of the ladies will be coming by, one of our sisters. She's a member of the royal family. She doesn't make it in much, but she's always making that money. So she will be here tomorrow to show you another way to make some more money. And so y'all know we like that kind of stuff. So this is her business. So this is a part of the Black Business Spotlight, but she's someone that I know personally, and I know for a fact that she makes good money doing what she does. And I want her to, share that information with you because y'all know I believe in those multiple streams of income and I want you all to be financially empowered. Okay. So in the meanwhile, have a great afternoon. You all stay encouraged and remember most of all to encourage somebody else. I love you guys and I'll see you tomorrow. Okay. Bye now.